thanks to the NCAA, but James Madison will finally be playing in their well-deserved bowl game. And it should be a fun one, as the 11-1 Dukes will be taking on a dangerous Air Force team in the Armed Forces Bowl. So welcome back to the Gridiron Expert, guys. We're so glad you could join us today, ready to break down everything you need to know for this battle between James Madison and Air Force. As always, please continue to like, comment, subscribe, share our videos. Of course, check out everything down in the description below, including those expert picks, that holiday special that will give you every single bowl game spread pick and every single NFL playoff game spread pick. So if you want some of the best spread picks in the country for one of the lowest prices in the country, picks that are hitting over 60% this year, over 65% in our best bet section, this is the place for you. Go check it out. The link for it down in the description below. Become a member of our GE Nation. So let's take a look at this game, guys. Look, James Madison, it shouldn't even come to this. James Madison, Jacksonville State, two new members to the FBS, weren't going to get to put in a bowl game because of the waiting period, the transition period. But because we did not have enough bowl eligible teams by season's end, James Madison got put in. The waiver they sent to the NCAA, the appeal they sent got denied. The NCAA just wasn't going to do it, but then they had no choice when not enough bowl teams could get in. I talk about divine intervention, if you do say so yourself. But James Madison, guys, they're a heck of a football team. 11-1, they're a lone loss by 3 points in overtime to App State. They're taking on an Air Force team that started 8-0 this year. They were looking good, a potential New Year's Six bowl team, but then lost their final 4 games. So these are two teams trending in different directions. The James Madison team that's hyped and pumped to be here, an Air Force team that has struggled mightily over the last month. Take a look at the offense. We'll start with James Madison. The Dukes have a lot of players that have entered the transfer portal, but as of right now, as of the filming of this video, many are expected to play. Everybody on James Madison's team is expected to play in this game despite their intentions to transfer, which I credit those players for that. An opportunity to play in the postseason, an opportunity to become a part of history. We do know that James Madison will be without their head coach, Kurt Cignetti, who took the head coaching job at Indiana, but we are hoping and don't believe that it will play too big of a role in James Madison's efforts in this bowl game. You take a look at what they've done this year. Jordan McLeod has been phenomenal at quarterback. He is one of the players that is choosing to transfer. He's thrown for over 3,400 yards and 32 touchdowns, has also rushed for over 300 yards and 8 touchdowns. So 40 total touchdowns for Jordan McLeod. Guys like Kalen Black, Tyson Lawton, both have rushed for over 500 yards. They have 2. James Madison has 2 1,000-yard receivers in Elijah Surratt and Reggie Brown. I mean, that's hard enough to do anywhere, guys. 2 1,000-yard receivers is insanely impressive. This James Madison team is averaging 288 through the air, 142 on the ground, 35 points per game. They are extremely deadly. They are extremely fast. They are extremely efficient. They can score at will. Very tough test coming up for this Air Force defense. The Air Force offense, though, we know they're all about the run game, right? The Falcons want to run the ball. It's what they do. It's what Army does. It's what Navy does. They're averaging 276 rushing yards per game, and head coach Troy Calhoun said there's a good chance the Air Force could get their quarterback back in Zach Larrier. He's been hurt for a while. Having him back for this bowl game would be massive for Air Force, maybe snap their 4-game losing streak. He has 579 rushing yards and 5 touchdowns on the year. If he is not good enough to go, the Falcons still have enough talent to dominate on the ground. They have Emmanuel Michel, 747 yards, 9 touchdowns. They've got John Lee Eldridge, who's averaging 6.9 yards per carry. The biggest thing more than anything for Air Force right now is not their ability to run the ball. We know they can do that. We expect them to do that. I expect them to be dominant up front and to run the ball and have a great success there. But can they take care of the football? The Falcons have turned the ball over 12 times. 12 times in their last 4 games. That's been a major reason for their collapse over the last month. An 8-0 start to an 8-4 finish. They're turning the ball over 12 times. 6 of those came in one game against Army. In those 4 games that they've lost, the Falcons have averaged just 15.5 points per game. So they're going to have to find a way to get back to playing physical football, dominating the line of scrimmage, and they're going to have to find a way to hold on to that football. They're going to have to find a way to start taking better care of the ball. Because this James Madison defense, guys, they're good. The Dukes defensively are good. They have forced 21 turnovers this year, and they have one of the best rushing defenses in the nation. James Madison is allowing just 61.5 rushing yards per game. That's it. 61.5 rushing yards per game. They're not that great in the secondary. They're giving up over 267 through there, but I'm not worried about that. Air Force isn't going to come out there and throw for 250 on you. It ain't going to happen. So, can Air Force run the ball effectively against James Madison, against this very stout front, this defense that isn't allowing anybody to run on them? The Dukes have allowed over 100 rushing yards against them just twice all year. The most rushing yards they've allowed in a single game this year was 146 to Georgia State, and James Madison still won that game 42-14. They have 45 sacks on the year, 21 forced turnovers, and again, if this team is fully ready to go, they're going to be a very tough out for this Air Force offense. James Madison plays a very physical brand, just like Air Force, and I don't know if the Falcons are going to find a way to generate much offensive success against them. Take a look at Air Force's defense. They're good too, right? Falcons traditionally have a very strong defense under Troy Calhoun. They have the 6th ranked defense overall this year, giving up just 181 through the air and only 96.3 on the ground. So this could be a game where Jordan McLeod has to win the game through the air. Luckily for him, he's got 2 1,000-yard wide receivers at his disposal. But you look what Air Force has done over the last month or so. They've struggled defensively. They've allowed at least 114 rushing yards in each of their last 4 games. They've allowed an average of 356 yards per game over the last 4 games. And have allowed at least 27 points per game over the last 4 games. So, again, that 8-0 Air Force team is completely different than the 0-4 Air Force team. The defense that we saw in the first 8 games has been completely different than the defense we've seen over the last 4 games. So it's really, really interesting, just almost a tale of 2 seasons for Air Force. Can the defense get back to playing that physical style of ball? Can they get back to shutting down the run? They've been unable to do so over the last month. And if they're unable to do so now against James Madison, they're going to be in for a long day. Because that's going to allow the Dukes to stay multidimensional. It's going to allow for Jordan McLeod to set up the pass. It's going to allow for him to not have everything on his shoulders. That's what they've got going for him here. So, guys, when you enter this Armed Forces Bowl, it's a really intriguing matchup. I love the 2 teams. I have a tremendous amount of respect for both of these teams. But at the end of the day, for me, this is a no-brainer. I got to go with James Madison here. I don't know how I can turn against James Madison here. This is a Dukes team that has been disrespected, has been beat down. In a way, you could call James Madison America's team, because I feel like the majority of America has been behind the Dukes, advocating for them to go bowling. They now get their shot, not because the NCAA said, okay, here you go, but because there weren't enough bowl-eligible teams. They still were and have been disrespected by the NCAA. And so now in their first ever bowl game in program history, they have an opportunity to not just win it, but to finish the year at 12-1 and to take down a quality opponent all the while. The motivation is there for the Dukes. Despite losing their head coach, the motivation is there. The players that have chosen to play have shown that they care and they want to win this game, and they are going to do just that. James Madison will win this game. They will finish 12-1, and they will begin a new era heading into 2024 where the waiting period will be over, and they finally will get to play for a Sun Belt Championship. They finally will get to go to bowl games without any controversy, but they're going to end it all in any doubt in the Armed Forces Bowl. James Madison wins by at least a touchdown. Air Force drops their 5th straight. After many thought it would be a very, very special season, it ends on a sour note as they look to bounce back again in 2024. But James Madison, guys, winning the Armed Forces Bowl here at the Gridiron Expert. As always, thank you so much for watching. Please continue to like, comment, subscribe, share our videos, and check out everything down in the description below, including that holiday special over on the gridironexpert.com. Every single bowl game spread pick, every single NFL playoff game spread pick. No other site is going to offer those picks to you guys, especially for as low as the price as we are. So go check it out. The link down in the description below. Become a member of our GE Nation. And once again, guys, as always, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time right here on the Gridiron Expert.
Yeah.